This is Mac OS Ken.
A survey around the next round of iPhones, Apple may expanded child protections, and a few tales of Apple TV Plus. It is Tuesday, the 10th of August, 2021. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from Mac OS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and sponsored by Notion. One workspace for your whole team. Get collaborating with $250 off at notion.so and use promo code MacOSCan. This show is also sponsored by Ladder, smart, dynamic term life insurance. Life insurance, where financial concerns and thoughts of mortality meet. Sounds fun, doesn't it? Of course not. But with Ladder, it is much easier to handle. Before Ladder, getting life insurance meant going places and sitting through sales pitches and filling out tons and tons of forms. Then you got to wait for weeks to see if you were approved. Now with Ladder, you can get fast, affordable term life insurance without leaving home. When you apply for $3 million or less in coverage, everything happens online. No doctors, no blood tests, no paperwork. If you're between the ages of 20 and 60, need coverage, and want to team up with a company that is redeeming life insurance, choose Ladder. Go to ladderlife.com/macOSken today to see if you're instantly approved. That's LADDER, ladderlife.com/macOSken, ladderlife.com/macOSken. The cell phone resale site SellCell says a lot of you plan to upgrade soon. Cult of Mac cites a new survey from the service that says lots of people plan to trade up to iPhone 13 when that becomes a thing. According to the report, SellCell surveyed more than 3,000 iPhone users aged 18 years or older based in the U.S. That's not enough to make this a truly scientific survey, according to the site, but the sample group is large enough that it should be generally indicative of trends. As for those trends, just under 44% of people surveyed say they intend to jump for the next iPhone. That said, there could be an issue or two. The cult says people are making their plans based on rumored features. In terms of interest, 22% want a display with a higher refresh rate, 18% want under-display Touch ID, 16% are looking forward to an always-on display, a la Apple Watch, and 11% want a smaller notch in the screen. All of those are features that are rumored, though none are guaranteed. We should find out what's what next month, though that is also not guaranteed. As for which sizes the people who think they'll buy a new phone think they'll go for, 38% figure they'll go for a 6.1-inch iPhone 13, 31% think they'll go for a 6.7-inch iPhone 13 Pro Max, 24% are eyeing the imaginary 6.1-inch iPhone 13 Pro, and a mini 7% will opt for the 5.4-inch iPhone 13 mini. With iPhones running iOS 15 out of the box likely less than 2 months away, a sort of surprising discovery on Monday. It looks like iOS 14.8 may actually happen. iDownload blog highlights the findings of code monkey Brendan Shanks. On Twitter, Shanks posted a screenshot from the latest beta of Xcode 13. In that, iDownload blog says Apple specifically mentions iOS 14.8. Could this mean new features for the roughly year-old operating system? That seems unlikely. Could be a stabs and perps update for devices that either can't or won't make the move to iOS 15. Per an Apple announcement at WWDC, keeping up with security will no longer require updating the entire operating system, with people having the choice to stay behind, giving iOS 14 one more update for stability, performance, and security, is not the weirdest thing. We'll find out what's going on soon, unless we don't. Apps besides Apple's own Messages app may get Apple's expanded child protection treatment. We've talked here over the past few days about Apple's three-prong approach to slowing or stopping the dissemination of child sexual abuse material. Apple's first move is making changes to Messages for accounts controlled by minors on family plans. The way Apple describes it, when receiving this type of content, the photo will be blurred and the child will be warned, presented with helpful resources, and reassured it is okay if they do not want to view this photo. As an additional precaution, the child can also be told that, to make sure they are safe, their parents will get a message if they do view it. Similar protections are available if a child attempts to send sexually explicit photos. The child will be warned before the photo is sent, and the parents can receive a message if the child chooses to send it. The part where parents are alerted is for kids under 13. Kids between the ages of 13 and 17 will receive the same warnings, though their parents will not be notified. Now it seems Apple's plans may move outside of Apple's own app, though not now. Mac Rumors says the Cupertino company held a Q&A with reporters on Monday. During that, the piece says, Apple confirmed that it would be open to expanding the features to third-party apps in the future. Quoting the report, Apple said while it does not have anything to share today in terms of an announcement, expanding the child safety features to third parties so that users are even more broadly protected would be a desirable goal. Apple did not provide any specific examples according to the report, nor did it provide a time frame as to when the child safety features could expand to third parties. The piece has Apple indicating that it still has to complete testing and deployment of the features, and the company also said it would need to ensure that any potential expansion would not undermine the privacy properties or effectiveness of the features. Washington, D.C. has an idea for getting kids vaccinated against COVID-19. AirPods. Cult of Mac says the district plans to give teens free AirPods and the chance to win even bigger prizes for receiving COVID-19 vaccinations. According to the report, Washington, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser announced on Saturday that those aged between 12 and 17 will get free AirPods and the chance to win up to $25,000 in scholarship money for getting their first COVID-19 shot. Shots have to be administered in one of 3 locations in the D.C. area. Kids who don't want the AirPods can get a $51 gift card instead. Taking that would be stupid, though, since AirPods are worth more than $51. On top of the $25,000 scholarship, students will also be eligible to win an iPad and headphones, which seem a bit redundant since you're giving them AirPods. Cult of Mac goes on to say students aged 18 to 21 who are already enrolled in a DC school will also get free AirPods for their first shot. Whole thing's kind of funny, right? It's usually Apple Watch that saves lives. Home automation hardware maker Arlo has worked out its HomeKit kinks. Nothing kinky. Apple Insider says the company has updated its iOS app with a bug fix. That bug had kept Arlo hardware from being added to Apple's smart home system. Nothing in the piece about what the problem was, except that it wouldn't work and will now. The piece says Arlo confirmed to Apple Insider that its latest iOS app, version 3.5.1, contains a fix for the issue. The update is available now in the App Store. More news in a moment, but first a word from Notion. One workplace for your whole team. The last team I worked with never really got the whole team thing down. One person would say one thing, another would say something else. There was never any clear ownership of a project, and the phrase, "Who said that?" was often heard. We could have used something like Notion. Notion is an all-in-one team collaboration software that combines note-taking, document sharing, wikis, project management, and a whole lot more into one simple, easy-to-use tool. It'll keep track of who said what, who changed what, who's supposed to be doing what, and yet it does all of that without being intrusive. You can check all that stuff, but when you're getting down to work, it's just you and the work. You can collaborate in real time, tailor workflows to your team's specific needs, and share with ease. And with 500 integrated apps, there's a pretty good chance Notion already works the way you do. Give it a try with your team. Notion is currently running a special offer to listeners of the show. Go to notion.so and use promo code MacOSKen to get $250 off its annual team plan. That's multiple months free for your growing team. Don't forget, that's notion.so. Enter promo code MacOSKen during checkout. Get collaborating with $250 off at notion.so and use promo code MacOSKen. Tongues are wagging in Tinseltown about a bidding war between Apple and Netflix. Sorry about the voice. Variety says the two companies are vying for the rights to a film with Oscar-winning director Paulo Sorrentino and Oscar-winning actress Jennifer Lawrence attached. Writing like a showbiz Bible, Variety says Lawrence is set to play Sue Mengers, a legendary super agent who donned a caftan like a suit of armor and wielded a joint like a mace while trying to get the best deal possible for her A-list clients. Because if there is one thing Hollywood loves, it is movies about Hollywood. Well, that and movies that include the destruction of New York. In her heyday, the piece says, Mengers represented the likes of Candice Bergen, Faye Dunaway, Gene Hackman, Ali McGraw, Steve McQueen, Ryan O'Neal, and most famously Barbra Streisand. Think I'm kidding about Hollywood's love for Hollywood movies? Variety says bidding is currently believed to be somewhere between $80 million and $95 million. Of course, having Jennifer Lawrence on board does not hurt. No comment from Apple, Netflix, nor Lawrence for the Variety report. News of a new show for Apple TV Plus. The Cupertino streamer issued a press release Monday announcing a series order for Bad Monkey. According to Apple, Bad Monkey tells the story of Andrew Yancey, a one-time detective demoted to restaurant inspector in southern Florida. A severed arm found by a tourist out fishing pulls Yancey into the world of greed and corruption that decimates the land and environment in both Florida and the Bahamas, and yes, there's a monkey. The show will star Vince Vaughn, known for such comedy films as Wedding Crashers and Fighting with My Family. It's being written and produced by Bill Lawrence, known for such comedy series as Scrubs and Ted Lasso. And yet, despite the presence of two big comedy names and, yes, a monkey, Apple says Bad Monkey is a drama, even though the New York Times called the book on which the series is based a comedic marvel. As usual, no word on when the show will land in Apple's stream. And finally today, the Apple TV Plus film Coda is doing something very accessibility-minded. A piece from Apple Insider says the film will be shown with subtitles, making it accessible to film viewers who are deaf and hard of hearing. Having not seen the film, I assume that will be a boon for folks without hearing difficulties as well, since a good bit of the film is likely to be in American Sign Language. If you've forgotten what this one is, the piece says Coda follows Ruby, a young girl who is a child of deaf parents, and who acts as an interpreter for them, as she is the only hearing member of her family. When Ruby discovers a talent for singing and wants to apply to the Berklee School of Music, it causes friction in her family, which depends on her for their fishing business. The subtitles are kind of a big deal, according to the report. Typically, says Apple Insider, deaf film viewers wanting captions have to wear special glasses to see the text as they watch the film. This equipment is not always available and in some cases can be damaged or partially unusable. To counter this, the report continues, the captions for the film will be burned into the print itself, eliminating the need for extra equipment in theaters in the US and UK. It is claimed this will be a first for a feature film released in theaters. Coda hits the big screen and Apple TV Plus this Friday, the 13th of August. The streaming service will offer subtitles in 36 languages, according to the report. Coming up in a few minutes, last week connected speakers were news to Bart Busschots. This week, Apple Watch is news to Chuck Joyner. It's never what you think it's gonna be, is it? Find out why this 6.5-year-old device is news. Look for the show in a few minutes at macoscan.com or wherever you get podcasts. macOS Can, brought to you by me and sponsored by Ladder, smart, dynamic term life insurance. Learn more at ladderlife.com/macOScan. This show is also sponsored by Notion, one workplace for your whole team. Get collaborating with $250 off at notion.so and use promo code macOScan. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media, online at backbeatmedia.com. You can reach me a couple of ways. Info at macoscan.com or call 716-780-4080. Until next time, that is news from macOS Can. I'm Ken Ray.
Ciao.